Sides for this afternoon. There's 3 changes from the Mariners starting 11 that defeated Perth before the international break. Izzy Gomez returns from suspension and is straight back into the starting side, while Hayward and Ergamal get the nod, having started on the bench last match. Annabelle Martin drops out of the matchday squad entirely, while Tess Quilligan drops to the bench. Just the one change for the Reds this afternoon. Mallory Mullen gets her first start of the season as Alana Janchevski drops out of the matchday squad altogether. There's a few changes on the bench though, as Grace Wilson is away on young Matilda's duty. So Claudia Jenkins returns to the Pine along with youngsters Miley Grigg and Katie Bowler. Well, Asher, when she debuted in the Liberty A-League 18 games ago, and she's been present in every single Mariners starting lineup since. She's been solid at the back for the Mariners, and for her first season in the league, she deserves a lot of praise for the Mariners' defensive work. It's both teams taking their ends of the pitch. And at the other end of the park is defender Emily Hodgson, the 23-year-old, also playing the most minutes this year for her side and has become a key player in the Reds' defence. She'll likely come up against Rola Badawiya this afternoon, so we expect an entertaining encounter between those two. Hodgson has been excellent for the Reds this season so far. Warm afternoon at Industry Group Stadium up in Gosford. You're looking at the Liberty A-League Coach of the Month for January, Emily Husband, picking up a resounding 65% of votes to stream through with the award. A huge individual award for the first-year A-League women's coach, and no doubt the first of many. Our centre referee this afternoon, good to see Georgia Ghirardello back out on the park, assisted today by Emma Kobek and Maggie Price. And our 4th official this afternoon is Molly Godsill. Well, there is Adrian Stenter, coach of Adelaide United. He was named Coach of the Year in season 2021-22. He'll be eager to return to that sort of form. His side currently undefeated in the last 3, showing a little more promise than the early stages of the season. A good run of momentum. See, there's a few words from Captain Kaya Simon, the 32-year-old. She's come back into the side for her 2nd start, after having her minutes really closely managed, returning from injury. Lots of little difficult niggles that she's had to endure. This is her 5th appearance for the Mariners, just building back into some match fitness, and she was key last game for the Mariners too, of course, scoring against Perth Glory. Over in very hot conditions on the west, the aforementioned Mallory Mullen, not only a debut for the season, a starting debut for the season that is, but a starting debut across the Liberty A-League. Her 4th season in the competition, but this is her 1st ever start. So a big afternoon for Mullen. There's Bianca Galic, also key to the Mariners' attack. An informed goal scorer, Rola Badawiya, well, she'll be keen to have another entertaining afternoon for the Mariners. As last instructions are given, players are lined up all ready to go. Just now waiting on the referee's go-ahead as Ghirardello takes a look at the watch. And so we're underway here at Industry Group Stadium. And what is just the 5th meeting between these two sides in history? The most recent of those was just back in October, and it was Central Coast who emerged victorious that day. It was a 2-1 win with goals thanks to now injured captain Taryn King and Ergamal. An Ella Tonkin goal for the Reds. Not enough that day, but it has indeed been the Mariners who, across the course of the competition, the history of these two teams, Mariners certainly the most dominant. This is just the 5th time these two sides have faced each other. On the previous 4 occasions, every single result has gone the way of the Mariners. Good early ball forward, searching for Kaya Simon, towed back by the defence there in Sasaki, just to steer away a bit of danger. Well, it's a special jersey for a special occasion today. You see the Mariners We'll come back to that moment in just a moment as Bianca Galic looks to get scoring underway early, but it's a big save from Adelaide Grove in her 50th appearance today. Well, it was a strong start from the Mariners, looking dangerous early. Adelaide Grove wasn't part of the squad last time these two teams faced each other back in October. She was suffering from a concussion, so this is the first time she has ever faced the Central Coast Mariners. Short corner to take, lofted into the box. Tonkin can hook that away. Well, as was just mentioning, the pink jerseys of the Mariners today, they're participating in their annual Pink Round in partnership with the McGrath Foundation, raising funds and awareness for breast cancer, a wonderful initiative that sees the women participate in what is their inaugural round. And here's Hannah Blake at the other end for Adelaide. Swivels on the ball, first time shot from Hodgson, but doesn't quite have the purchase it needs. Well, it's an annual event for the Central Coast Mariners. The men's pink round taking place on April 20th in their match against Adelaide, but this is the inaugural appearance for the women today in their pink jerseys, and it's a wonderful cause too. So the Mariners in the pink, running from left to right of your screen, and Adelaide United in their away kit. Good strength shown on the ball there. Good tussle in the middle of the park, and Galic will get the free kick. Dylan Holmes just grappling. Good early help on. Smart use of the body there from Ella Tonkin, the 21-year-old. Short goal kick taken by Adelaide, and that pass a little unconvincing. Gomez, well left, turning around for Simon, and it's hoofed away on that occasion by Marushka Waldus. But I've got to say, it's the Mariners who have started with the lion's share of possession in the opening 3 minutes. And Adelaide just slightly struggling to get out of this high Mariners press. It's one back again. Here's Hayward looking for Badawiya. Simon threatens, but Dylan Holmes with some good tidy up work. Blake can drive forward. Nice early release ball for Izzy Hodgson. Morgan back to Waldus. Well, prior to the October game between these two teams, you have to dig a little further into the history books to see previous encounters. We know that Mariners returned to the competition this year, and the last one that these two teams played against each other was back in 2009. And fair to say, a bit of a demolition that day. The Mariners who defeated Adelaide 6-0 some 14 years ago. But there was a familiar goal scorer for the Mariners that day. One Michelle Heyman with a hat-trick. Heavy coming together between Bryson and Sasaki. Bryson gets a little word of warning from the referee. Just a heavy clash of feet on that one. Well, Sasaki, she's key in the middle of the park for Adelaide. Plays in that deep holding midfield position and just pulls the strings. Well, this will look early, but once again, the Mariners are well organised, and that's a little bit of a lazy challenge there from Galic. That will be a yellow card, first one of the afternoon, and that is Bianca Galic's 4th yellow of the season. One more and she will serve a suspension. Just a little reckless coming into that. And her midfield compatriot Izzy Gomez is back in the side today, having served a 1-match suspension for picking up 5 yellow cards across the season. And that's Galic's 4th. Here the Mariners again. Badawiya up against Emily Hodgson, as mentioned at the start of the game. That battle will be an interesting one. An informed striker in Rola Badawiya up against a player who has played the most number of minutes for Adelaide this year in Hodgson. Emily Hodgson's 97th appearance today, yet to score a goal this season for the Reds, as here's Stream's Hannah Blake coming through. Little toe poked away, but not quite enough done. Sarah Morgan dances around the ball. Looks to release a bit of pressure out wide to Hodgson, but the pass has a bit much on it. Tiana Karen-Bassis just assesses the option and tries to find an outlet pass forward, but it's read well by Ella Tonkin. Here's Sasaki. And Grove elects for the long pass, helped on Mullen in her debut start for Adelaide. Nice pass through, just threading the needle. It's a good forward move from Adelaide. That one asking a bit much though of Izzy Hodgson. Karen-Bassis again can drive forward for the Mariners. Perhaps held onto the ball just half a breath too long there, but that's fallen really kindly to Rola Badawiya, who can stride forward. Tries to cut in on her left foot, but it's well dealt with by Hodgson, and that's a heavy challenge. Big shoulder. Hodgson not happy about that at all. Well, I mentioned that the battle between these two would be an entertaining one, and we're very early on in. Hodgson reads the play well, and this, yeah, you've got to say that's a bit cynical from Rola Badawiya, not going for the ball so much there at all. Well, put that battle on notice. Here's Hodgson again with the ball. Turns out just a bit of spice about this one. Nice long searching ball. Blake looks to bring it down on her chest, but tidied up well by Faye Bryson. Well, you can hear the applause from the crowd. CEO Sean Millercamp has announced he'll step down from his position at the Central Coast Mariners after 9 years, and I'm speculating, but I believe that is what that applause is about, as a thanks to Sean's fantastic commitment to the club across both the men's and women's program, and what a remarkable 9 years with the club that has been. Here's the Mariners looking for an outlet. The cross from Badawiya a little too lofty. Adrian Stenter, coach of the Reds, his 4th year in charge at the club. It's been a difficult season for Adelaide, but certainly the last 3 games have shown a lot more promise. A draw last week against Melbourne City. They did have that postponed game against Wellington during the New Zealand players' international period, which wasn't an international break, and Adelaide kindly agreed to postpone the game. But here's the Mariners on a charge. Tonkin again up to the challenge. Badawiya for close company, but that's well shielded by the young defender. Rola Badawiya, the 25-year-old. She's got 5 goals for the season. Coming across from Sydney FC, where she appeared last year. She's enjoying life in the Liberty A-League, that's for sure. Here's Gomez, nice little drop of the shoulder. Can release Bryson. Fairly narrow in her run. Heavily trafficked area, and that's a good scoop over the top. Ella Tonkin did manage to get a leg to it. Here's Gulich. Now Karen-Bassis. Second ball through for Simon, who's just grappling at the middle. Sarah Morgan putting in some hard work. Mullen looks up, sees a bit of space and can drive forward. Cuts inside, just looking for an outlet pass, and that one won't come in the way of Hodgson. Adelaide not quite having the numbers forward that they need when they do look for that break. Mariners looking to play out, and that touch a little wayward from Ergamal, which you don't too often say. Morgan driving ball forward, a lovely delivery too to Hodgson. Bryson had to come across, position well. Here's Hodgson, little glancing look up, cross into the box. Hooked away by Wardlow. Simon's dropped deep. Here's the hard-working Paige Hayward. Gets the head down and drives forward up against her former team, Hayward. Badawiya, she's switched flanks. Was over here on the right flank for Central Coast and has moved to the left. Hayward thinks about it, gets the head down and hasn't quite managed to keep that in. Idea was right there by the Mariners. Just had a little too much sauce behind that pass. Jasmine Wardlow at the back for Central Coast. A 26-year-old, one of the US players in our league this year. Fantastic left foot. Well-travelled too is Wardlow, and she has been very important in that defensive line for Emily Husband's side. Well, Gomez had her hands in the air, but that's a nice little move by Badawiya. Glances up, looks for the cross, delivery, centering ball. Well, there's no Mariners shirt to meet the end of it after what was a good move from Rola Badawiya. Karen-Bassis with the re-entry. Nice forward touch. Hayward gets the strike away, but the offside flag is up. Well, Central Coast Mariners just really starting to test this Adelaide shape. That would have been a tight one. A good ball back over the top from Tiana Karen-Bassis. Good numbers at the far post too. Had Badawiya, had Hayward. It did fall nicely to Kaya Simon as well. She'll be keen to add to her tally for the season. Just the one goal last week, as mentioned, against Perth Glory. Well, it's a warm 30 degrees in Gosford today. That sun beating down. Just some deliberation on who's going to take this one, Bryson or Gomez. Looks as though Bryson... Well, no indeed, it will be Gomez. Plays short to Bryson. Centering ball in, finds the head, looking for the head of Wardlow, but it was Karen-Bassis who nodded on, and Wardlow having a few words either with herself or one of her teammates. Can't quite be sure. It was a good delivery by Bryson, just putting it into the mix-up. Dangerous area. Difficult length as well for Annalie Grove to come and collect. Ergamal came off the bench in the Central Coast Mariners last game, back in the starting 11 today, but it's just been a little quiet to begin by her measure. Here's Simon. Gullich back to Simon. Irwin. Tidy turn by Gullich. That touch a little short by Urgamal. Gives away possession. There's Blake, Kiwi international. Holmes. Nice ball to Hodgson. That pass cut out. Simon can look forward, searching for the run of Badawiya. It's fallen well to Urgamal. Good overlapping run by Hayward. Nice cut in on the right foot there by Paige Hayward. Not a bad idea. Certainly just starting to build for Central Coast, and Adelaide, although getting a lot of touches on the ball, you'd have to say probably absorbing a bit more of the pressure at the moment. Certainly more of the match being played in this Central Coast attacking half. Morgan can poke it forward to Hodgson. Receives the return pass. Nice ball forward from Morgan. Holmes puts the afterburners on. She's got Karen-Bassis. Nice drop of the shoulder. Holmes with the cross into the box. Idea right, but just the one runner in the 6-yard box. This is another look back up the other end. Hayward. She's such a willing hard worker, is Paige Hayward. Of course, last year she was with Adelaide United. Made the move across to Central Coast this season. So 17th appearance today, Paige Hayward, and her 14th start. So she's been a pretty key part of Emily Husband's side as we have a look at some of their passing accuracy in the final third. Well, that really speaks to the measure we've seen in this opening almost 20 minutes. It's largely been Central Coast camping out in their attacking half here. Long ball from Grove. Sasaki. Now Gomez. Bodies to ground. Release pass to Hayward. Eyes up, cross into the box. Headed away by Waldus. Good assertive header too by the defender. Great experience at the back is Mariska Waldus from the Netherlands, a 31-year-old. She's played across the world, has Waldus. Had a couple of seasons with the Western Sydney Wanderers. Spent some time in Norway, Iceland, Germany. Might have a bit more work to do here. Punched away by Grove, and it has fallen to Bryson. But Adelaide do enough on that occasion. Grapple in the middle of the park, and Bianca Gullich does well to keep possession for the Mariners. Badawiya looks to help around the corner. And it's well managed by Adelaide. You can see the high line for the Mariners. Pink shirts pressed up right outside the 18-yard box, looking to win possession high up at the field. Well, it was a valiant effort in the Mariners' last game against Perth. They went down early, but much to their credit, dug deep in very tough conditions over in Perth to come back and get a result on the road. Well, that's given away a little cheaply. Hodgson tries to thread the needle to Blake, but the pass is a little too straight and direct, and Sarah Langman, who hasn't had a great deal to do in this opening 20 minutes. Karen-Bassis just laboured on the touch a moment too long. Can be a very dangerous area of the field to give it away. Fortunately for the Mariners, they were able to deal with it. Here is Waldus, back to Grove. Grove with pressure from Mariners players, and that's an awkward clearance from Hodgson, straight back into her own 18-yard box. Well, the Mariners are going to want to capitalise on the chances and this forward movement that they've had in this opening 20 minutes. As mentioned, it's hot in Gosford this afternoon, sitting on about 30 degrees. And they'll feel as though they want a bit of reward for effort. Throw from Karen-Bassis, helped on by Simon, but body's used well there by Sarah Morgan. Wardlow just asking for an option. Here's Ergamal. A little too heavy on the contact there from Tonkin. Well, Ergamal, Chinese international, she too has 5 goals for the season. Quite the revelation of a signing this year at the Central Coast Mariners. But just a little quiet in the last couple of appearances. Central Coast free kick. Again, it's Bryson over the ball. Long driving ball in. Waldus again with the clearing header. It did come off the head first of Zoe Tolland. There's Mullen. Well, you can see Kaya Simon handing out a bit of instruction about that delivery, where she wanted the ball. Gullich. Irwin. Down the line for Badawiya from Karen-Bassis. Nice little drop of the shoulder, and it's this battle again. Good use of the body once more by Hodgson, but the clearance doesn't quite meet the lines. Helped on, Hayward. First time ball in, good cross. Just needed a Central Coast touch to steer that goalward. And Hayward, she's been very busy. See, the moment she gets the ball, she looks forward, drives her head down, opens up her body well just to create the space for herself. The first time cross was the right idea. Just a bit of desperation there from the Mariners is what's needed. A very difficult cross to deal with those ones. And a bit of a difficult pass for Emily Hodgson to deal with on that one. Bryson. Now Gullich. You can see the idea, trying to find the reverse pass there to Ergamal, but it was blocked off well by Adelaide's defensive shape. Here's Holmes. She's got a bit of space in front. She can drive forward. Looks for the release pass. A little skinny, but Adelaide have done well. Now Central Coast with some defensive work to do. Here's Hodgson. Asking for an option from her teammates. There's a nice one inside in Hannah Blake. She can look forward. Gets the head down, the strike away. Well, Blake shaped up well. And she's certainly got that kind of range in her locker. A 23-year-old thought about it, had enough time and space. Bryson to the feet of Simon. Nice little play by the Mariners. It's good defensive work by Mullen. Hodgson again to Blake. That pass well read. Poked forward there by Gomez. That pass caught Simon a little unawares. Just a bit haphazard at the moment from both sides. Passes not quite meeting their feet. See, it's almost 5 dropping back in for Adelaide United with Sasaki giving Kaya Simon some close attention. You can see she's following Simon more or less where she goes, but Simon's peeled off well from her line. That ball again just a little too straight. Makes it very easy for goalkeepers to come and collect. Read well once more by Karen-Bassis, and Adelaide continue to struggle just to get out of their own defensive half. Nice little step over from Wardlow. Hayward again can drive forward. Effort shaked off as Simon, drop of the shoulder, finds Bryson really well. It's opening up cleanly for Bryson. Dally's on the touch just a moment too long. Gave enough time for Emily Hodgson to get across and close down the space, but again, great hard running by Paige Hayward. Helped on well by Kaya Simon, and Faye Bryson, she almost had to hit this first time or drive forward into that space. It has resulted in a Mariners corner. It'll be Bryson to take. Bryson, cross whipped in, helped on to the back post. Wardlow gets the strike away, but it ricochets off a defender, and Sasaki dribbles out of danger. The release pass ultimately comes to Zoe Tolland. That's better play there from Adelaide. Nice early ball too. Idea's right there. Izzy Hodgson had done well to keep herself on side, but the pass with a bit too much pepper. Well, the glancing header from Hayward was a bit tricky to deal with for Adelaide's defence. And Sarah Langman can just take her time on this goal kick. Well, Langman, also a former Adelaide United player, the Central Coast Mariner goalkeeper. Indeed, spent a few seasons there. A couple at Western Sydney, and now is calling the Central Coast home. This is her 8th appearance this afternoon for the Mariners. And what has been a rather shared position across the course of the season. Of course, we saw Courtney Newborn in early days of the season, Sarah Langman, Casey Dumont, Chloe Carmichael on the books as well. Sasaki. Morgan finds Tonkin, and back to Sasaki. Adelaide just conceding a bit of territory, and the Mariners will pinch forward. You can see the field already becoming quite stretched. The Mariners' front three, quite a big gap between there and both teams' midfield. Back with Grove. And her 50th A-League Women's appearance. Bit of a milestone for Annalee Grove, and I'm sure she'll want to celebrate with a win. Well, just looking forward. It's fallen to Holmes, who helps on the outside of the boot, but Bryson positioned well. Pressure from Hodgson. Hodgson has to put the head down and work hard to get back into position. We can just see it looks just a little sluggish out there, a little fatigued, hot conditions. There is Annalee Grove, the 22-year-old. Just one clean sheet across the course of the season for the Reds. Of course, not all of those appearances have been with just Annalee Grove, Claudia Jenkins, Grace Wilson, the other goalkeepers involved in the Reds campaign this year. 4 clean sheets for the Central Coast Mariners. And possession, as you can see, they're pretty evenly split across the two teams. This one will be Gomez to take. Centering ball in by Gomez is helped on by Badawiya, but only as far as Grove, who can comfortably collect. She tells her players to get up, to get forward. Finds the feet of Tolland. Little slip by Mullen, and Irwin can drive into space. Blake's picked that up, but it'll be Gomez who will chase and look to regain possession for Mariners. Has done well there, Izzy Gomez. Held her touch a little too long, and that's a great touch there by Izzy Hodgson, forcing the save from Sarah Langman. A bit of a tired giveaway at the back for the Central Coast Mariners. Gomez just tried to take on Holmes, and the pass from Holmes was excellent. The first touch from Hodgson was perfect. She probably even had a moment longer to take a second touch driving into the 18-yard box, but she saw the space open up for her nicely. It's the first time Langman's been asked into a save this afternoon. And it will be Adelaide's first corner of the day. Two hands on the head from Dylan Holmes. Holmes into the box. Waldus, top save from Sarah Langman. She read it well off the head of Marushka Waldus, who was no doubt the target. Twice in as many minutes, Langman is called into action, and right on her line she does very well. And Waldus again. Well, that pass just a little too obvious there from Hannah Blake. But just those moments going forward, those final passes of quality, Central Coast will start to rue some of their opportunities. Well, it's a heavy challenge between Mullen and Wardlow. Mullen left worse for wear on the deck. Don't think any malice intended, both players' eyes for the ball, but just a heavy contact through the back there from Wardlow. Adelaide can look to build. That pass a little too easily read, but it's fallen kindly to Sarah Morgan in the middle of the park for Adelaide. Switches out to Hodgson. Puts the head down and finds the feet of Blake. It's a tricky one to deal with there for Karen-Bassis. A little awkward off the bounce. Well, just momentum slightly shifting in the favour of the Reds. These last few minutes have had a little more action in their attacking half than what we've seen in this opening 35 minutes. Feels as though there is a goal coming in this game. The question will be a matter of quality in the final third and which side can be the more clinical of the two. Badawiya, her touch just evades her. Still a fairly high line we're seeing here from the Central Coast Mariners in their special edition pink shirts this afternoon. If you missed the start of the call, in partnership with the McGrath Foundation for awareness raising, fundraising for breast cancer. So a wonderful initiative that is shared with the men's team as well. This is the first time the women have participated, and wonderful looking kits they've got as well. Ball over the top, and that has hung up quite well for Badawiya. She looked to cut it back to Simon, but she ran out of real estate there. Just when it felt as though the ball was going to escape, but Badawiya did well to meet it. Good centering cross in. Simon gets a shot away on her left foot, but again, it's just these fine margins of quality. Both sides looking a little slow, a little sluggish in hot conditions. Still plenty of football to be played yet, but a draw today would be the first time in history between these two teams that Adelaide have taken points from the Central Coast. This their fifth appearance, fifth meeting, shall I say. That's going to be a yellow card for Paige Hayward, just grabbing the run and slowing things down. Clear tactical foul against Mallory Mullen. You can see just arms around the waist there, yep. That'll do it. Well, all four encounters between these two sides have been taken by Central Coast. Adelaide would love to switch that statistic back in their favour, at least start the climb to do so. Hodgson. Nice touch out wide. And pass forward though. Again, not quite on the same page there Zoe Tolland was with Izzy Hodgson. Adelaide throw. Ash Irwin looks to corral that one out, and Izzy Hodgson pokes it out for what will be a Mariners goal kick. Adelaide too with the high line, right on the edge of the 18-yard box. Both sides eager to win the ball back high up the field. There's confirmation of that yellow card to Paige Hayward. Here's Wardlow. Now Irwin. Now the Mariners just seeing if they can play themselves out of pressure. Lovely switch ball from Paige Hayward. But Hodgson is well to reach that first. Heavy contact between the two number twos of Hodgson and Bryson. Bryson just taken a couple of extra moments to return to her feet. The 26-year-old, it's her 15th appearance today. Faye Bryson, the English woman, vastly experienced too. Spent some time abroad in the English League, over with Everton, Bristol City, a bit of time at Reading as well, most recently. That's a nice touch from Jasmine Wardlow, and well read. Simon. Nice forward run by Bryson. Early cross into the box. It's helped away by Tonkin. Hodgson gets a shin to the clearance, but a little unconvincing on that occasion. First time touch came with a bit of contact there on Garlich. Here's Blake. It's a poor pass. Izzy Gomez can drive forward into the 18-yard box. Gomez centering pass. Hayward! How has that not gone in the back of the net? A gilt-edged opportunity for the Central Coast Mariners. Manufactured by Izzy Gomez. A good driving run into the 18-yard box. A lovely centering pass. almost in slow motion as Hayward found herself in the end of it. And that's got to force a save out of Adelaide Grove, if nothing less. In fact, I thought Izzy Gomez was going to unleash a shot herself. And perhaps on the next occasion, she might be a little more selfish. See the shot count there. Central Coast Mariners 7 to Adelaide's 4. But perhaps shots on target a little more important. Just 2 for the Mariners to Adelaide's 4. But really, that strike from Paige Hayward has got to test the goalkeeper, if nothing less. Nice little turn by Gomez, the creator behind that last chance. Turned well there by Morgan. Nice little give and go with Blake. That pass is behind the run of Emily Hodgson. You can just see the shoulders drop of the Adelaide players. Disappointing on that one. Shouts for a handball. Very close there to the Adelaide bench. Well, they weren't going to make that one too known. Neat touch from Gallage. Now Gomez. Holmes left a little bit in that one, and Gomez is still on the ground. Here's Tolland. She has space in front. Waterloo just inviting the pressure. Releases Hodgson. And Irwin goes to ground. Gomez still on the ground after that challenge with Holmes. Referee Georgia Ghirardello did look to play advantage. Adelaide, second corner of the afternoon. And it will be Dylan Holmes again to take. We know she's wonderful on a set piece, Dylan Holmes. And Adelaide, what can they make in the dying minutes of this first half? Holmes with the corner, nice header from Tonkin. Langman saw it early, saw it well. The Mariners goal kick. And Waldus, I believe, has just talked herself into the book. Well, Adelaide players suggesting that they thought it was another corner to follow. Karen-Bassis drives forward. Met well by Waldus. That touch just put Karen-Bassis off her run there. Morgan's centering pass took a deflection. Ticking round to the halfway point of this one, you can't imagine there'll be too much in the way of stoppage time, perhaps a minute or two at most. And one last chance perhaps for the Mariners to drive forward. Here's Ergamo trying to find the centering ball, but it's cut out well by Adelaide. Much as they started the half, it'll be Central Coast Mariners looking to finish off this half, largely spent in their attacking part of the field. Gomez looks to poke that away to Garlich, does so, and now Bryson. Badawiya, a little turn of speed. Takes on Hodgson. Slight miscommunication there between Badawiya and Bryson. And Bryson looking around the corner. Well, that one almost caught Adelaide Grove off guard. Galich getting a little further forward. Opportunistic strike, and the deflection saw it into the gloves of Grove. It's confirmation of that stoppage time, 4 minutes, with almost 2 of those having been played. Well, it hasn't been a half without chances. Both sides at either end of the pitch have certainly had their moments. And although Central Coast, as mentioned, have spent a lot of the time in their attacking half, it's Sarah Langman who has had more saves to make than Adelaide Grove. Good use of the body there from Kaya Simon. Dylan Holmes getting back and doing the dirty work, slowing things down for the Mariners. Now Blake to Morgan and Sasaki. Nice one-touch football by the Reds. That ball threaded through for Hodgson. Irwin to chase, and disappointing there for Hodgson, who's just lost her footing underneath her touch. And otherwise, what was a really tidy bit of build-up play by the Reds. Good, nice one-touch football. Slipping the ball through, here's Ergamal bearing down on goal. She's got Hodgson for company, looking to get the strike away, but Emily Hodgson has done oh so well. Driving in, checking the run of Ergamal with just the goalkeeper to beat. Oh, it's a last-ditch challenge. Time to perfection by Hodgson, who has had a very busy half. There is confirmation from a couple of minutes ago. Mushka Waldis' yellow card after having some stern words with the referee. She talked herself into the book. And those 4 minutes of stoppage time have all but elapsed, and a little look at the watch from Georgia Ghirardello. There is the half-time whistle after what you'd have to say has been an entertaining 45 minutes in Gosford. Neither side able to break the deadlock after 49 minutes of play, and a big second half coming up on the other side. But here at Industry Group Stadium, we leave it half-time with the Central Coast Mariners 0, Adelaide United 0. Well, it wasn't without a few highlights from the first half. Certainly, Central Coast Mariners started with their foot on the ball, but this one of the best chances for Adelaide. A shot from Izzy Hodgson at the other end after a little bit of a poor giveaway in the middle of the park. Forcing a save out of Sarah Langman, which she handled pretty comfortably. And this too at the other end. Izzy Gomez, unselfish, and that, you'd have to suggest, was Central Coast's best chance of the afternoon so far. Despite not hitting the target, it opened up ever so nicely. As we turn our attention to the half-time stats, well, really not much separating possession. But in terms of the shots and talk about efficacy, well, 5 shots for Adelaide, 4 of those on target. And I'm sure that Emily Husband will be talking to her Central Coast team about making the most of their opportunities, which they have had as well. Well, we're off to a short break, but don't go anywhere. We have a big half of football coming up just on the other side. Well, it's all locked up here at Industry Group Stadium as we welcome you back to the second half between the Central Coast Mariners and Adelaide United. Neither side could break the deadlock across the first 45 minutes. Wasn't without its chances though. Adelaide not quite able to capitalise. Izzy Hodgson, well, it's opened up very nicely for her, forcing a save out of Sarah Langman, who otherwise had a fairly quiet opening 45 minutes. Positive first touch from Hodgson, but just didn't quite have the finish to match. And this too at the other end, well, Izzy Gomez was more or less at the centre of everything for the Central Coast Mariners. And this chance for Paige Hayward, no doubt she'd like to have that one over again. The cross eluded everyone in the box in the way of Adelaide's defence. And Izzy Hodgson, well, two shots on target. Just that last little bit of quality is needed to break the deadlock this afternoon for the captain. Her 89th appearance in the A-League. She got 2 goals for the season this year, Izzy Hodgson, playing a little further up the field than what we've seen her do so in previous seasons for Adelaide. Well, another Izzy is Izzy Gomez, centre of the park for the Central Coast Mariners. She returned to the side this week after sitting out 1 week on a suspension, having picked up 5 yellow cards for the season. Well, she's a great ball winner in the middle of the park. And if you're just joining us in this second half between the Central Coast Mariners and Adelaide United, you'll see Central Coast not in their usual home kit of their yellow and navy or their gold and navy, but a special edition pink jersey as a part of their annual pink round, which is fundraising for the McGrath Foundation, which the club has partnered with. And in fact, you can bid on today's match-worn jerseys by visiting the official Central Coast Mariners online shop. A really fantastic cause. And a wonderful kit to boot for the Mariners today. Well, it is a big 45 minutes coming up. A stalemate at the break, still 30 degrees in Gosford. It's been a busy half for that woman, Emily Hodgson. Some physical challenges up against Rola Badawiya, but taxing conditions no less. And the 5th ever meeting between these two sides is playing out before us today. All 4 prior have been won by the Mariners, so any points taken today by Adelaide would be an historic moment. Hannah Blake there on screen as the Mariners with the second half kickoff. There's Kaya Simon, captain, looking to get things underway. And there is the whistle from referee Georgia Ghirardello as the Mariners look to stream forward early. Bit of a routine kickoff set piece. Didn't quite go to plan, but the ball is back with the feet of the Mariners nonetheless. Here's Faye Bryson. Searching ball inside, and Bianca Galich will give chase. Cleverly done there by Annalie Grove in her 50th Liberty A-League appearance. Well, both coaches with plenty of quality on the bench to choose from. Emily Husband has at her disposal Annalise Rasmussen. She was the inaugural signing for the Central Coast Mariners team this year. And there is coach Emily Husband looking on a little pensively. Helped on there by Kaya Simon, looking to get her side off to a positive start this second 45 minutes. Nice little dip of the shoulder by Morgan, but it's read really well by Izzy Gomez. She does drop this onto her left foot, trying to get an option. Kaya Simon hooks that shot wide. And again, Izzy Gomez, I thought, could have been a little more selfish and gotten a shot away, if not here, this second time of asking. You can see a little frustration at herself. And ultimately, Simon's touch took her too wide from the goal. She cut her own angle down. Gomez just looking to lay off her pass, when perhaps she should put her boot through it and back herself. At the other end of things is Mallory Mullen. The first start of the season, first start of the A-League, in fact. A couple of youngsters on the bench today for Adrian Stenter's side. Katie Bowler and Miley Greek. Well, good energetic options on what is a bit of a taxing afternoon at Industry Group Stadium. Heavy conditions. There's got Ergamal paddling in the middle of the park, and Mariners take things all the way back to goalkeeper Sarah Langman. Still Adelaide with a relatively high line. Players pressed up just outside the 18-yard box. It's Jasmine Wardlow. Around the corner to Hayward, who's done well. Nice spin on the ball. You see the reaching arms of Mullen. Mariners with possession. There's Karen-Bassis. Now Gomez switches the point of attack. Garlich with a bit more space. She has Simon. Has time to take a touch, get it back on the preferred right foot. Centering ball angled away by Ella Tonkin. And that's going to be a free kick, not too far outside of the 18-yard box. And Mallory Mullen is remonstrating with referee Georgia Ghirardello. We'll get another look at the challenge here. There's not much in that one, is there? Nonetheless, a free kick for the Central Coast Mariners in what is a reasonably dangerous position on the field. And you can see both Izzy Gomez and Kaya Simon standing over the ball. Zanelli Grove just sets a wall. Little touch off from Gomez. Simon to strike. The wall's done its job well. Simon with a second time of asking. Karen-Bassis looks to bundle away through, gets the poked touch around the corner, and it will be an opening goal for the Central Coast Mariners. It wasn't off the script that they had written off that free kick, but they won't mind. Well, it felt as though it was building for a while from the Mariners. First time of asking, second time of asking, and this Adelaide just failed to clear. And Tiana Karen-Bassis, it's scrappy, but she won't mind. It's her first goal of the season and an important one for the Mariners this afternoon. Well, a key finish for Tiana Karen-Bassis. What a moment too. In a game where the opportunities weren't presenting themselves thick and fast. And not only a first goal of the season, a first goal of her Liberty A-League career, Tiana Karen-Bassis, and a well-deserved one at that. Well, what kind of response to Adelaide United have? It's almost fallen to Sarah Morgan, but a bit of desperation defending from the Mariners, but Morgan still with the ball. Tolland, who's had a quiet first half this afternoon. Tonkin. Now Mullen. That's some tidy passing from Adelaide. Sasaki swivels on the ball. That pass almost catching Emily Hodgson a little unawares, but she does well to chase down. Centering pass looking for Dylan Holmes, but Izzy Gomez is first to it. There's that right knee heavily strapped Izzy Gomez. Adelaide throw. And Waldus, long searching ball into the middle, and Dylan Holmes, well, the thumbs up. Opportunistic moment by the experienced Reds campaigner in Dylan Holmes. Just needed the slightest of touch, a little glancing header there. Really difficult ones for a goalkeeper to judge. Adelaide free kick. Hannah Blake just in the background there. Looked a little worse for wear after that last passage of play. But Adelaide with a free kick. Sasaki standing over the ball. Plenty of Adelaide shirts forward as there are Central Coast back defending. Sasaki with a high drifted ball. Waldus no doubt the target. But again, Gomez looks to charge through. Mullen does well. Interrupts that charge, and now Galich is using great strength on the ball just to protect and shield possession. It will go out for an Adelaide throw-in. Adrian Stenter asking a few questions of the fourth official. Mariners throw. Nodded forward from Zoe Tolland. And goal scorer. Nice pass right down the middle of the park, and Ergamol closely marshalled by Ella Tonkin, who's done really well there. Everything but that final pass expertly done by Ella Tonkin, the 21-year-old. Again, good protection of the ball there from Hayward. Laboured on the touch a little too long there, did Faye Bryson. Just gave Adelaide a bit of a sniff at that one, but it's rolled out favourably to the Mariners. I'm sure in warm conditions, both coaches just starting to look to their benches. Normally about that 60-minute mark is when we start to see the changes coming through. Hodgson again. Nice drop of the shoulder by Hannah Blake. Reverse pass to Hodgson. First time strike. Doesn't quite get her angles right. But when Adelaide look to that 1-2 touch football, this is a neat pass from Hannah Blake. And again, Hodgson maybe had a little more time than she thought. The strike doesn't concern Sarah Langman so much. Ball all the way back to Grove. And that ball goes out just as Kaya Simon can receive a bit of attention, which has been doubled over since that last bit of play. I think Emily Husband suggesting that Simon copped a whack to the face. And this just here, the connecting arm there of Sasaki, no malice at all meant in the coming together. And Kaya Simon also not asking for treatment or any of the trainers to come on the field. So interesting one here as to how long Ghirardello can choose to stop play. Well, the inner workings there on the Central Coast Mariners coaching staff. And good to see Kai Simon is okay to play on. Adelaide with the ball. Well, a win today for Adelaide. Should they find a way back into this one, would be 4 games undefeated. They drew last week against Melbourne City off the back of 2 wins, so a good run of form for the Reds. But they've got a bit of work to do as Bryson goes to ground. Just some heavy tired touches. And it's been quite a battle down that side of the field. Bryson, also good to see she's okay to continue back to her feet. Mariners throw. Well, the foul count really starting to climb here as the game wears on. 6 for the Mariners, 10 for the Reds. There's another to add to the Mariners tally. The referee just signalling that there'd been a little pull on the jersey. We'll have another look here. Yep, there's that tug, spot on by the referee. Tolan release, but she can't reach the end of that pass. Hayward just looking to move things on quickly in front of the bench of her former team. Should know Adrian Stenter well. And Tonkin. Well, of course, today Adelaide are also without Alana Janchevsky, not in the matchday squad. No Mariah Lee, no Chelsea Dorber, no Grace Wilson. Missing a few players. The Central Coast look to charge forward. That's a nice centering ball. Toland with the back heel. Holmes to help away, and that's ricocheted off Hannah Blake. Hodgson has to do a bit of tidy up. Did open up nicely for the Central Coast Mariners, but again, just don't have that final product. They are creating, though. Good space here by Wardlow. Gets the eyes up. Finds Badawiya inside. And that'll be a free kick. Sasaki just using her body well. Again, interrupting play. Opts for a nice short ball to Mullen. Pass inside is a little hot there for Hodgson to handle. Gomez driving forward. Nice ball through to Kaya Simon, who can get a little look up. Closes the angle, looks to get the shot away. Oh, she too dallied on the touch a moment too long. But this is a lovely through ball from Izzy Gomez. Kaya Simon did really well to hold her line, but she almost cut her angle down too much, and Zoe Toland worked really hard to make that hard for Kaya Simon. Oh, she'll be frustrated at herself. A prime chance there for the Central Coast Mariners. They're the ones, the opportunities they'll need to make the most of is Gomez. Uncontested header away from Mullen. Now Hayward. Back out wide to Gomez. Nice touch. Drop of the shoulder from Izzy Gomez. Centering ball straight into the hands of Annalie Grove. Just needed a near post runner there. And Gomez continues to work tirelessly. Karen-Bassis does well to bring that down. Of course, Central Coast today without Peter Trimmis. She's away on young Matilda's duty, but has been a real revelation this year for the Central Coast Mariners. A young player, well and truly standing up on the Liberty A-League stage. Well, we will see our first change of the afternoon, and it will be Sarah Morgan making way for Adelaide United, the number 5, after a good shift, worked hard in the midfield. And it'll be the number 20, Miley Grigg, the 16-year-old. And she came off the bench in the team's 3-1 loss to Western United at the start of December. This is just her second appearance. She signed on with the team in December on a youth development contract. The youngest ever player for Adelaide United, Miley Grigg. Well, youthful confidence, youthful exuberance. The first change off the bench for Adrian Stenter, just over that 60-minute mark, his first to turn to some fresh legs. It'll be interesting to see how soon the counterplay is there from Emily Husband as the Central Coast Mariners staff look to their options as well. Hayward with the long ball over top, finds the feet of Ergamal. Good link-up play, overlapping run by Rola Badawiya is excellent. She can drive into space, eyes up, centering cross, got to beat. Well, isn't to be. But it's a wonderful play from the Central Coast Mariners. Nice give and go. And Rola Badawiya found herself in a really good bit of space. Again, the release pass from Isabel Gomez is excellent. The weight behind the ball. Badawiya can get her eyes up. 2 pink shirts on the end of that. But once more, just a moment of last-ditch defending from Adelaide United is really well done. Or short corner. Hayward. Delivery in the box. Grove is off her line. Shot in the back of the net. And after a quiet afternoon, it's Ergamal for her 6th goal of the season. She doubles the lead for the Central Coast Mariners in a fine, fine finish. Well, a short corner, a training ground exercise, a good delivery into the box from Paige Hayward. Adelaide Grove well and truly off her line, and it is a clinical finish from Ergamal. Rest assured, she has made that look a lot easier than it is. That is a fantastic finish. Well, she's floated in and out of this afternoon's game. And by her standards, has been relatively quiet, but the team won't mind so much when she produces a finish like that, and a much-needed 2nd goal for the Central Coast Mariners. Well, the Mariners are going about keeping their perfect record against Adelaide intact. Still plenty of football to be played. But it feels as though the hill is getting a little steeper to climb for Adrian Stenter's side. And Izzy Gomez has been everywhere. That's a neat touch by Dylan Holmes, though. Ball gets stuck a little behind her. Mullen finds Blake. Trying to thread the needle for Hodgson. Back to Blake. Wardlow reads well. Composure there from Karen-Bassis. Nicely done from the Mariners. Lovely ball through by Gomez. Well off her line is Adelaide Grove, and cleverly done so as well. But things really starting to open up for the Central Coast Mariners, and time again, it's Izzy Gomez who is able to thread the needle. That's a neat challenge from Sasaki. Nice touch from Holmes, has space in front. Just looking for an outlet, looking for an option, threads it past Faye Bryson, but has given Grigg a bit of running to do. That ball a bit straight, that clearance less so. First time strike from the substitute. And this is a look again at the pass from Izzy Gomez. The stride of Rola Badawiya couldn't quite meet the ball, but nonetheless, the delivery, the release from Gomez, well, she's really got to dial in into this 2nd half. Well, a couple of changes here for the Central Coast Mariners. And Rola Badawiya would have loved to add another one to her tally this afternoon, but it won't be the case. She's had a good shift, though, worked very hard. High fives all round from the coaching staff, and it will be Annalise Rasmussen and Shadeen Evans coming onto the field. The other player making way. Kaya Simon still managing minutes on return from injury after injury, but she too can be proud of her shift this afternoon. So a couple of words of instructions. It's Ergamal who's been pushed a little further forward. Shay Evans in her 9th appearance for the Mariners. Be looking to make an immediate impact. But a double change, couple of sets of fresh legs. A good early release pass. Here's Annalise Rasmussen. She's been excellent off the bench this year for the Mariners. The inaugural signing for the team. Izzy Gomez dances over the ball, looking to get a little touch away. Ergamal chases down. Gomez back to her feet. Goes for the spectacular. It was always going to be a tricky one. But certainly a bit of attacking intent with that double change. But for now, speaking of attacking intent, it's Adelaide at the other end of things. Ash Irwin coming to close down Izzy Hodgson. Hodgson can get the shot away, but Langman's done really well. Had to make a decision, close the angle and smothered the shot. Well, every time of asking, Sarah Langman has done her job, and done her job well. Haven't been without their chances, Adelaide. That challenge from Annalise Rasmussen, a little heavy on Sasaki. Lovely release ball from Dylan Holmes. Good pressure shown by Irwin, but Hodgson did well to get through. As it will be another change. Hannah Blake making way for Jenna Holtz in her 17th appearance. And Melanie Mullen also makes way for Katie Bowler in just her 6th appearance off the bench for the Reds. Another set of fresh legs. Jenna Holtz, the American, perhaps a little more defensively minded, so we'll see how those changes shake out into play for Adrian Stenter's side. Certainly the two subs for the Central Coast Mariners indicating the attacking intent. Annalise Rasmussen and Shay Evans, well, two more attacking minded players than otherwise. Nice little touch on the ball by Galich, but it's interrupted well in the middle of the park by Holtz. Good ball around the corner. Holmes trying to thread through to Katie Bowler. And Sasaki, good to see her back up on her feet after that challenge. Nice reverse ball too, finds Hodgson. Sasaki, she's certainly got this kind of strike in her locker, and that is a well-timed challenge by Karen-Bassis. Had to be as well, right on the edge of the 18-yard box. And here's Hayward, always full of running. Poked away by Jenna Holtz. It will be a Central Coast Mariners throw-in. Sasaki a little slow to get to her feet. She went down in a challenge just moments earlier, but it was a brilliant challenge. Also took the weight there of Bianca Galich just coming down. Ella Tonkin, who's read play well all afternoon. Here's his foot race again. Izzy Hodgson up against Ash Irwin. The angle's narrow, and Irwin has timed that sliding challenge to perfection. Well, really well managed there by Ash Irwin. As mentioned at the top of the show, it's Ash Irwin who has played the most amount of minutes for this Central Coast Mariners side. But for now, a bit of defending to do with an Adelaide corner, short one. Shay Evans with the defensive duties, hooks it away for an Adelaide throw-in. Just Shay Evans' 9th appearance today, the 22-year-old. Still not much split in possession for the afternoon. Sasaki spins out, can face forward. Reverse pass to Holmes. Nice tidy play from Adelaide. Strength on the ball shown by Ergamal. Waldus. Read well by Evans, but it's back to the feet of Holtz. Well, Holtz, who started the first few games for Adelaide, having come across from America this year, has found herself largely coming off the bench, using that experience as an impact player or just to settle things for this relatively young Adelaide team. Nice give and go. Zoe Tolland, what kind of cross can she deliver? It's cut out well by Irwin. Seen away by the Mariners, but certainly feels as though Adelaide have a little bit of momentum at the moment. Is Gomez. Finds Rasmussen. Releases Evans. Nice play by the Mariners. Evans streaming into space. Hodgson been put to work. Evans just looking for an outlet pass. Needs some support. Rasmussen swivels on the ball. Support does come in the way of Bryson, who delivers an early cross into the box. Has a little too much on it. Easy pickings for Annalie Grove. Well, she's got through a wealth of running this afternoon, Faye Bryson. Tolland just assessing the options. Switches play. Ball back with Waldus. Holtz and back to Waldus. Holtz can turn and face. Looks to release Grigg, but it's cut out well by the Mariners. Nice first time touch around the corner from Gomez. Bianca Galich has inherited the captain's armband in the middle of the field there. You can see from Kaya Simon when she went off. Wonderful to see Bianca Galich back playing good, solid football after recovering from an ACL rupture. Evans just turns into a bit of traffic. Gomez again, as the Mariners happy to slow things down as 15 minutes of regulation time remain in this one. 15 minutes for Adelaide to find an answer. 15 minutes for the Mariners to solidify their result. As mentioned off the top, the last time these two teams played each other was back in October. It was the Mariners that day who came out victorious with a 2-1 win. There was a header from Taryn King, a right-footed finish by Ergamal, and then a late goal from Ella Tonkin. And this is a special moment for Adelaide United. Emily Condon taking to the field in her 100th appearance in the Liberty A-League. Gets high fives from youngster Zoe Tolland, but a big congratulations to Emily Condon, who is the first player in the women's program to reach this milestone for the Reds, and she dons the captain's armband in a well-deserved appearance. But the first thing she might need to do is a bit of defending for her side, as Izzy Gomez does take the shot, and a rather scuffed one at that. But a very big congratulations to Emily Condon, the 25-year-old. It's just her 10th appearance of this season. She has one goal with that as well. That's a neat turn. Nice touch. Katie Bowler, she can drive in toward goal, get her eyes up, looks to get the shot away, but it does not so much as trouble Sarah Langman. That was a promising bit of speed, a good break by Katie Bowler. And there is Emily Condon. Well, certainly something that Emily Condon has in her locker is the ability to break through defensive lines. A good creative midfielder. Lovely technician on the ball. She had to work her way in and out of the squad this year. Largely appearances off the bench. Just one start for the season. Here's Holtz. Nice touch inside. Searching ball forward, does find the run of Bowler. Looks for the first time pass and just took a little deflection, which saved the blushes of the Mariners' defence. Now Galich can drive forward. Here's Ergamal. Certainly been a little more involved in this second half, you'd have to say. And on this near side of the field, as the shade just starts to extend across Industry Group Stadium, well, the players in the shady patch will be grateful. Still a warm 30 degrees up here at Gosford. Well, there's the crowd for this afternoon. A happy 1,573 fans. The Mariners' home ground. I imagine the lion's share of those will be Mariners fans, but no doubt a few Reds fans in there. Nice little touch there. Emily Hodgson lines up, gets a shot away. It's a top draw save by Sarah Langman, and she knows it. Well, Emily Hodgson, who has been so lively all afternoon, her eyes lit up. Lovely touch from Dylan Holmes as well. And the defensive effort too from Shay Evans was excellent. This a really concerning sign. You don't like to see at all. You hope it's just cramp, the lesser of many evils. Well, here we just have another look as Karen-Bassis just goes down. She's just turned her ankle in the grass, that right ankle. Good to see her back on her feet. Well, a couple of changes here. Tiana Karen-Bassis, who we just saw go down with that little ankle tweak, takes a well-deserved rest after what has been a fantastic game for her this afternoon. Opened the scoring for the Central Coast Mariners, but for now, almost a bit of defending to do, but a poor delivery on the corner. So Tiana Karen-Bassis makes way, and it's Alexia Karastal who takes to the field for just her 12th appearance of the season. Oh, that's not too good to see. You certainly saw that right ankle roll over in the grass. Good to see she's back up and about, but those ones do hurt. It's a lovely ball over the top. Shay Evans can chase. Good early centering ball as well. The idea there is right, most certainly. Karastal, the intended outcome. Couldn't quite get to the end of it, but the idea from Evans was the right one. The other change too, Tess Quilligan, the 18-year-old for the Central Coast Mariners. As we just have another look at this Little tug of the shirt. It's Tess Quilligan taking the place of the number 9, Ergamal, the second goal scorer for the Mariners this afternoon. Annalise Rasmussen picking herself up a yellow card in that last little passage. Might have kicked the ball away after Adelaide were awarded the free kick. And so with under 10 minutes of regulation time to play, really the question for Emily Husband's side is about how well her team can manage this game through to its end, and what kind of attacking impetus can be shown by Adrian Stenter's players. Both coaches emptying the bench of their on-field players. Here's Condon in her 100th A-League women's appearance. Centering ball in the box. Header, not dealt with, nodded away by Gomez. Galich clears away, no nonsense defending. There's just confirmation of that second substitution made by the Mariners. Youngster Tess Quilligan taking the place of the number 9, Ergamal. Well, Faye Bryson copped a bit of a late hit in that last challenge. Referees just called that one back. And Sarah Langman, no doubt, will look to take as much time as she can. Bowler. Drops the ball back to Waldus and Tonkin, and back to Waldus. Nice pass from Tonkin. Finds Sasaki and Condon. Quilligan close for company, making life a little tricky there for Condon. Good pressure. Comes away with the ball. Bryson can help on to Evans. He controls well. That pass a little narrow though. Evans again, here's Quilligan. Poked away by Condon. She has her eyes up. Little drop of the shoulder, that's nice from Emily Condon. Poked away by Ash Irwin. It'll be an Adelaide corner. Oh, just these moments. A little feint there by Emily Condon. Clever. Caught a bit of contact, centering ball into the box. Strong header away from Irwin. Offside flag has gone off. And Irwin had to be alert to the danger. Sarah Langman had committed to the punch. Here's Galich. Gomez finds a way through a bit of pressure to Bryson, and now Rasmussen. Poked away by Adelaide, but quickly regained by the Mariners. Caristyle asking for the ball. Sasaki slows things down. Adelaide free kick. Holtz will play short to Sasaki. Well, outside of the foot pass there by Sasaki, and that will be a handball. Just catching the arm of Jasmine Wardlow. We're feeling just a little bit of desperation coming through here for the Reds. Minutes ticking by into the final 5 minutes of regulation time. Sasaki over the ball. She's great over a set piece. Just needs to plant this right into that passage around the 6 yard box, just in front of that, just around the penalty spot. 12 fouls apiece. It's been a rather physical game. Sasaki, a little direct, didn't quite have the shape or the texture that delivery needed. And that's easy pickings once more for Sarah Langman as the Mariners can stream forward. Here's Shay Evans. Good pace, good centering ball. Beautiful delivery to Karastal. It's just escaped her. Hayward looks to get the ball back in first time. And Holmes is back doing her defensive duties. That opened up ever so nicely. A couple of steps faster by Karastal, and almost she could have taken that in her stride. The early ball in from Shay Evans is a really good idea. Splitting the line of Adelaide. She just couldn't quite reach it. Karastal, she will have a pop here though. They got a sense for goal after that last opportunity went begging. Well, she's been quite a utility for Emily Husband this year, has Alexia Karastal. Being deployed in an attacking role, oftentimes defensively as well. Good physical presence shown by Annalise Rasmussen. Adelaide are able to just diffuse the pressure. Nice touch by the youngster Miley Grigg, the youngest ever player to appear for Adelaide United. And that ball will do no harm to Sarah Langman, who will bait the pressure from Izzy Hodgson. Langman with the long clearance. Helped forward, but falls only to the Mariners again. Langman composed under pressure. Wardlow again finds Evans. Rasmussen's run into an offside position as the flag does go up. She did try and hold her run, but that's a disciplined line there held by Adelaide United's defence. You can see there, tried to hold it, but nonetheless was still in an offside position. Idea's right, but just needs to run the course of the line and then dart in behind to keep herself in an onside position. Adelaide throw. Bowler, nice touch. Well, there'll be an additional 7 minutes stoppage time. That's a nice touch from Paige Hayward. And that's a fair whack of stoppage time. Adrian Stenter will see that as a bit of a lifeline, just a last-ditch effort to try and get something from this game. And perhaps a little bit of a nervy 7 minutes for the Mariners, who are looking just to manage out this result. They want to hold on to their perfect record against Adelaide United, and 3 points at this point in the season. Well, this keeps Central Coast Mariners, should this result stay as is, in 5th on the table. Of course, we know there's a top 6 in finals this year for the Women's League. And that's a great switch ball to Shay Evans, who can tear into space. Hodgson trying to close the ground. Evans away on her left foot, gets the shot away. And it's oh so close at the near post. A little shake of the head from Shay Evans. Looked as though she lost her footing just underneath. Oh, how about this for a switch ball from Bianca Galic? The run of Evans was timed incredibly well. Nice little cut onto the left foot, and yeah, you can see the standing foot just lost underneath. Well, it would have been her first goal of the season for Shay Evans. As a referee just demanding that Jenna Holtz takes the ball back for the throw-in. A loss today for Adelaide, should it stand. They'll remain to be in 11th position on the table. That's headed away from Tess Quilligan. Nice little interplay there from the Mariners. Release pass from Carastal is perhaps asking a bit much of Hayward, who, well, fair to say, has run tirelessly this afternoon for her Mariners side. Well, for Central Coast next week, they head north up to play Brisbane Roar, while Adelaide United are back home and welcome the Melbourne Victory, who had a resounding result earlier this afternoon. Well and truly into the pointy end of the season. As mentioned, after today, Central Coast with just 4 games to play of the regular season. Heavy coming together here between Sasaki and Irwin, 2 players who have been fantastic this afternoon. And well, referee Georgia Ghirardello has a yellow card in hand, ready to deliver to one of these 2 players when they return to their feet. Perhaps it was to Ash Irwin. We'll see. Oh no, indeed, that was Sasaki. I hadn't seen that on the first time of asking. It will be a yellow card to the Reds midfielder. There's Emily Hodgson on the ball, who too has put in an absolute truckload of work this afternoon for Adelaide. A mountain of work, a mountain of running, some very physical challenges. Here she goes again, invites the pressure from Evans. Rasmussen, little drop of the shoulder. First time clearance from Sarah Langman finds Bryson. Now Gomez. Few too many Adelaide shirts to try and pick apart there. 5 minutes of stoppage time has elapsed, 2 to play, and perhaps a little extra for that last stop in play. Sasaki picked up her 2nd yellow card of the season. The offside flag does go up. There's no doubt the Mariners will just look to chew through every possible second they can. A little glance at the watch from Emily Husband. Nicely done by Central Coast. Wardlow's pushed a little further forward. Evans working hard to hold her line. And that ball, well, a little straight on the delivery. There's been a few of those this afternoon. The idea's been there, but that final execution just hasn't been met. Need to angle those passes away from the goalkeeper. Adelaide on the ball. Here's Emily Condon in her 100th Liberty A-League appearance, rather. Not the result, certainly, that she would have liked to produce. Katie Bowler looks to fashion something late in this game for Adelaide, but it's intercepted well by youngster Tess Quilligan. Very cool on the ball for the 18-year-old. The pass not quite finding the feet of a teammate. It does look very composed under pressure. Hodgson, back to Bowler. Now Condon. Nice little round the corner play, but yet again it is Izzy Gomez who's able to intercept and drive forward. And there is the full-time whistle from referee Georgia Ghirardello. And it's an important 3 points for Central Coast as they keep their spot in the top 6 finals race. It's a third game undefeated and a key result at home. They keep their perfect record against Adelaide United alive. And we wrap up here at Industry Group Stadium with the Central Coast Mariners 2 defeating Adelaide United 0. Well, it was a much busier second half, and it needed to be as well. A stalemate going into the break at half-time. This is what produced the first goal. Not quite the reading of the script that the Mariners had hoped for, but they won't mind so much as Tiana Karen-Bassis poked away her first ever Liberty A-League goal and got the scoring underway for this afternoon's match.